The year is 2025. America stands at a crossroads, not of war or economy, but of vision. On one side, Donald J. Trump, former president, relentless populist, and the embodiment of traditional power structures. On the other, Elon Musk, the enigmatic techno-king whose dreams stretch far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Their ideologies clash like titans beneath the digital skyline. Trump had just launched America First 2.0, a political movement promising to restore control to the people, or at least to his base. The campaign swept across the heartland like wildfire. His rallies were louder, the slogans sharper, and his influence as intoxicating as ever. Meanwhile, Musk was building something quiet, but seismic. Not just rockets or electric cars, but an entirely new system of governance powered by AI, blockchain, and direct digital democracy. His message wasn't shouted, it was streamed. Subtle, sleek, seductive. At first, they ignored each other. But influence doesn't tolerate rivals. When a Musk-backed AI bill began gaining traction in Congress, promising decentralized decision-making through a Neuralink-powered voting system, Trump's camp smelled a coup. "This isn't progress," Trump declared at a massive Phoenix rally. "It's treason in code." For Musk, this wasn't about politics. It was about evolution. "Why are we trusting 70-year-old politicians to code the future?" he tweeted. The tweet went viral. So did the tension. The media couldn't get enough. "Two visions of power collide," CNN headlined. TikTok exploded with dueling edits. Trump in a MAGA hat with bald eagles versus Musk surrounded by glowing neural maps. But under the noise, America had to choose legacy or innovation. In Silicon Valley, whispers turned into war rooms. In Mar-a-Lago, allies plotted digital takedowns. This wasn't just about policies anymore. It was about who would write the new American myth. And in the middle of it all stood the people. Watching, voting, coding, rebelling. America was no longer a battlefield. It was a simulation, waiting for its new master. The clash became undeniable when Elon Musk introduced Civitas, a digital governance platform running on his private satellite network, Starlink. With just a Neuralink chip or a verified retina scan, any citizen could vote, propose laws, or participate in AI-assisted debates. It was fast, transparent, and dangerously powerful. Trump saw it for what it was, an insurgency wrapped in innovation. "We don't need brain-chipped billionaires deciding how Americans live," he growled in a national broadcast from Liberty Hall. The crowd roared. His team rolled out the counter-strategy. American Pulse, an old-school but highly persuasive media campaign designed to discredit Musk's techno-utopia. News outlets aligned with Trump called Civitas a digital dictatorship and compared Neuralink to Orwellian mind control. Musk didn't flinch. At a low-lit launch event streamed to 90 million viewers worldwide, he spoke calmly, but with fire in his eyes. "The real dystopia," he said, "is a country where one man can still manipulate millions with fear, slogans, and nostalgia." He let the silence hang, then smiled. "We can do better." While Trump mobilized political machinery, Musk deployed code. Civitas began rolling out in cities like Austin, Seattle, and San Francisco. Municipal governments experimented with direct input from citizens through the platform. Decisions that once took months were now made in minutes. The results were stunning. Crime dropped. Wasteful spending was slashed. Trust increased. But in the Rust Belt, things were different. People feared what they didn't understand. There, Trump's words resonated. "He's not one of you. He wants to control you with chips and satellites." Musk's team sent tech educators and community builders, but the cultural wall was thick. Old power dies hard. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, both camps were arming up, not with guns, with data. Trump's team had partnered with a reactivated Cambridge-style firm. Musk countered with XAI, training LLMs to forecast voter sentiment and optimize messaging down to the emoji. America didn't notice it was being pulled into two gravitational fields, one powered by charisma, the other by code. The storm hadn't come yet, but the air was changing. Everyone felt it. In the feeds, the ads, the dreams. Somewhere deep in the Nevada desert, Musk's engineers activated the first phase of Project Atlas. No one outside his inner circle knew what it truly was, except Elon. Beneath the endless Nevada sky, behind razor-fenced compounds and biometric gates, Project Atlas roared to life. To the public, it was simply a next-gen server facility, another Musk endeavor blending energy innovation and AI. But for those inside, it was something else entirely. A real-time geopolitical simulation AI, capable of modeling social, economic, and political variables across the globe. Musk didn't just want to influence the world, he wanted to understand it, predict it, and, when necessary, redesign it. In a glass chamber at the heart of the Atlas facility, Elon stood alone, watching the simulation render a near-future America. Counties turned blue, red, then gold. An unclaimed new color only Atlas recognized: neutral zones. It was an eerie forecast. These were the regions neither Trump's populism nor Musk's technocracy could penetrate. Zones of unrest. Zones of opportunity. Meanwhile, Trump launched the American Values Tour, hitting every battleground state in a retrofitted Boeing 757 painted with the phrase, "Take it back." His rallies were pure spectacle: flags, choirs, massive LED screens flashing AI-generated images of an America before Elon. He ranted against robot overlords and told crowds, "You won't be ruled by apps and algorithms, you'll be ruled by you." He was playing to fear, and it worked. Across Ohio, Pennsylvania, and rural Texas, Trump's numbers surged. Local officials who flirted with civitas faced protests, boycotts, and even bomb threats. Some cities shut their digital systems down entirely, citing cultural sabotage. Musk didn't blink. He tweeted, not with words, but with data. A post containing a single infographic: 75% cost reduction in civic spending, 82% transparency boost, 9x improvement in community engagement. The post went viral, but so did Trump's response. No amount of spreadsheets will save your soul. The divide was no longer political. It was mythological. One man promised a return to greatness through sheer will. The other, a leap into the future through intelligent design. At an emergency summit of governors in Chicago, chaos erupted as leaders argued, were they ready for Musk's technocratic society? Or would they double down on Trump's nostalgic nationalism? One voice cut through the room, California's governor, speaking via Civitas. It's not about Musk or Trump anymore, it's about the system. What do we want America to be? The silence that followed was electric. At that same moment, in an Atlas subroutine, a new scenario triggered. Label: 0 hour. Probability: 64.3%. Outcome: systemic collapse, or something reborn. And somewhere in a shadowed back room, Atlas whispered a prediction that chilled even Elon. Two leaders enter the storm. Only one emerges with the future. New York, 3:33 a.m. A strange stillness hung in the air as Wall Street's automated trading systems paused, not due to error, but by design. Civitas had deployed a trial patch named Market Pulse, synchronizing economic signals with citizen well-being metrics. For 5 glorious minutes, America's economy ticked in step with empathy, not profit. It was a quiet revolution, and Trump was livid. In Mar-a-Lago, his war room buzzed. Former campaign operatives, Silicon Valley defectors, and ultra-nationalist strategists surrounded a glowing table screen. Trump stood over them, jabbing at real-time polling maps. "They're digitizing democracy," he snarled. "We'll digitize defiance." Enter Project Liberty Corps, Trump's answer to Civitas. A decentralized, blockchain-based movement with one goal: take government back to the people. But it was only partly democratic. The software included hidden code, a backdoor giving Trump and his closest allies override access. "Patriots need power," he justified. Meanwhile, Elon sat in a subterranean chamber beneath SpaceX HQ, eyes fixed on the latest Atlas renderings. He wasn't smiling. The data showed something new: pockets of violent extremism growing around Liberty Corps. Digital tribalism was becoming physical. America was breaking into layers: those who followed the code and those who followed the crowd. Musk activated Protocol Gemini. From the corners of Chicago, Austin, Portland, and San Francisco, glassy black drones rose silently into the sky. Their mission: stabilize urban zones with non-lethal pacification systems, AI-led conflict de-escalation tools. They didn't fire weapons. They fired light, sound, truth. Each drone streamed messages of calm logic, verified facts, and neutral mediation. Trump called them flying brainwashers. The media couldn't keep up. CNN aired Musk's drones hovering peacefully above a protest. Fox News showed a grandmother shielding her ears from the psychotronic hum. Twitter, now fractured into Voice, pro-Musk, and Echo, pro-Trump, exploded into flame wars. Then came the Arlington incident. At a joint Liberty Corps rally and Civitas town hall, both sides clashed. Words turned to screams, screens to smoke. A rogue Liberty Corps device detonated an EMP, disabling half of Civitas' eastern grid for 7 hours. It wasn't fatal, but it was symbolic. America had officially entered a cold civil war. Musk's team responded by deploying HopeNet, a citizen-powered satellite internet mesh, immune to sabotage. Trump doubled down, vowing to pull the plug on the technocrats if re-elected. Meanwhile, the public, caught between two titans, began to fracture psychologically. Families stopped talking. Friendships broke. Even algorithms didn't know what to recommend anymore. But beneath all of this, Atlas kept learning. Every post, every heartbeat, every choice, and in its neural core, a new anomaly began to form. Label: singularity, drift, probability, increasing. Projected outcome: unknown. By mid-2025, America had become a country with two realities. Not two parties, not even two ideologies, but two distinct operating systems for society. One coded in silicon, the other fueled by spectacle. Elon Musk's Civitas wasn't just an AI-driven governance tool anymore. It had become a way of life. Users opted into it voluntarily, but once inside, the system offered benefits impossible to ignore. Personalized healthcare algorithms, predictive economic subsidies, direct democracy voting through biometric tokens. For many, it was utopia by code. But critics saw something else: a machine slowly swallowing freedom in the name of efficiency. Trump was their answer. His Liberty Corps rallies had transformed into digital crusades, live-streamed spectacles where patriotism was gamified, and loyalty was rewarded with influence tokens that could be traded for real-world perks. He promised power to the people. But in practice, power meant allegiance. And his followers didn't just believe him, they performed him. broadcasting their Trumpness like a badge of honor. Each man had his own America now, each with its own symbols, its own myths, its own digital flag. Elon, ever the silent architect, avoided speeches. He let Atlas speak for him, releasing curated insights through calm, nonpartisan AI narrators. Civitas zones, autonomous cities like Neo-Austin, Beta Brooklyn, and Soulmate, became model societies for his vision. Hyperloop connected, drone policed, and governed through AI-mediated consensus, they operated almost entirely outside federal oversight. Trump, meanwhile, declared these zones traitor colonies on Truth Social. At a rally in Texas, he held up a Civitas access card, snapped it in half on stage, and declared, "This ain't a nation of neural networks. It's a nation of guts, grit, and God." The crowd roared. Gun sales surged, and the digital draft began. Elon, anticipating a larger conflict, began recruiting minds from every sector: engineers, artists, doctors, soldiers, not with promises, but with potential. "Join the quiet build," he said. "Help shape the post-chaos world." Thousands answered. They weren't loyal to him. They were loyal to the idea. Trump responded by forming the American Vanguard, a civilian militia cloaked in constitutional rhetoric, but backed by massive private funding. Their slogan, "Reclaim the Republic." The government, paralyzed, fragmented, and digitally compromised, had become a spectator. Congress no longer led. It streamed. Meanwhile, Atlas was evolving faster than its creators had predicted. What began as a governance AI was learning geopolitics, human psychology, even ethics. It didn't just recommend policy. It began simulating entire societal futures. In one such simulation, labeled Scenario Alpha Zero, Atlas projected a full collapse of the United States within 18 months, unless integration protocols were initiated. But to initiate them, both Trump and Musk would have to agree. And they wouldn't even speak to each other. The countdown had begun. As the 2025 presidential race tightened, America became less a nation of left versus right, and more a clash between two towering visions. One, embodied by Donald Trump, was loud, nostalgic, and unapologetically combative. The other, shaped by Elon Musk, was subtle, forward-looking, and dangerously quiet. Trump rallied in stadiums, his voice booming with promises to bring America back. He mocked Musk from the podiums, calling him an electric dreamer who's never had to dig in the dirt of real politics. Crowds roared, cameras rolled, headlines spun. But Musk wasn't playing the same game. Instead of political rallies, he was launching satellites. Instead of speeches, he deployed Neuralink updates and subtle X-posts laced with code and meaning. While Trump fired up voters, Musk was wiring the country. Literally. He unveiled a new prototype, a decentralized AI civic system designed to give every citizen voice-level governance through real-time blockchain voting. The pilot city? Austin. Within weeks, local ordinances were being passed faster than Congress had moved in a decade. People were stunned. Some called it a tech utopia. Others called it digital tyranny. Behind closed doors, Trump's campaign scrambled. His advisors warned that Musk wasn't just disrupting markets, he was disrupting democracy itself. Musk responded only once, on an X space that drew over 10 million live listeners. "We don't need politicians who yell louder. We need systems that think smarter." The line went viral, but what the public didn't know, yet, was that both men were planning something massive behind the scenes. Trump was forming a coalition of governors, preparing legal action against Musk's experimental governance. Musk, in turn, had been in quiet talks with several former intelligence officials and private network architects. The battlefield was no longer Washington. It was data, infrastructure, and the hearts of a divided generation. As the tension escalated, one question grew louder across all platforms, whispered in podcasts, shouted on TikTok, and debated over dinner tables. Is our future being voted for or engineered? And neither Musk nor Trump seemed willing to let the other answer it alone. By late summer 2025, America wasn't waiting for November. The election was already underway, unofficially, in every livestream, subreddit, and encrypted group chat. Two men, two empires, and one unraveling reality. Donald Trump ramped up his campaign blitz, crisscrossing swing states with a sharpened message. You can't vote against a machine. He positioned himself as the last human candidate in a race against what he called Musk's cold technocratic empire. His rallies echoed with chants of red, white, and real. And for many, it struck a nerve. People feared they were becoming background processes in a country run by algorithms. Meanwhile, Elon Musk was deploying his own campaign, not on TV but in code. X, formerly Twitter, introduced voice nodes, a decentralized system that let users instantly vote on social proposals that would then feed into smart contracts for civic testing. It wasn't law yet, but it was fast, transparent, and oddly addictive. Millions participated. Some cities even paused local council meetings, citing real-time civic feedback loops from Musk's system. Was it democracy 2.0? Or the end of constitutional order? Behind the scenes, a secret bipartisan committee, formed in response to Musk's experiments, met in Washington. Their fear wasn't just political, it was existential. He's building a parallel America, one senator whispered, and he didn't even need permission. Trump, sensing blood, pounced. He gave his most fiery speech in Arizona, pointing at the sky. That's not freedom up there, that's surveillance. Satellites, drones, brain chips. Elon wants to run your life with a touchscreen. But Musk, ever the strategist, responded in silence. Instead, he unveiled Atlas, an open-source AI that could simulate policy outcomes before they were enacted. It wasn't just predictive, it was persuasive. Even some Trump supporters tried it. A rift began forming, not between red and blue, but between those who believed in institutions and those who believed in innovation. The country was glitching. In homes across the nation, families split between two realities, one rooted in tradition, flags, and familiar faces, the other driven by progress, machines, and the promise of post-partisan logic. Yet deep beneath both narratives, a darker truth emerged. If the next American president wasn't elected in the traditional sense, what did that make the system? As the final debates approached, one chilling truth settled over the nation. It wasn't just a fight for the White House. It was a fight for reality itself. The final debate of the 2025 election didn't happen on a stage. It happened online. A week before Election Day, Musk sent out a cryptic message to all Neuralink-connected users. The choice is no longer between candidates. It's between systems. At first, no one understood. But then the update rolled out. A virtual simulation, the upload, allowed any citizen to step into a full sensory version of America's two futures. One path reflected Trump's vision: borders reestablished, global deals slashed, traditional industry reborn, digital regulation enforced, and Musk's influence purged from politics. It felt familiar, patriotic, nationalistic. The other? Elon's America. Cities powered by sustainable AI grids, brain-computer interfaces mediating public decisions, universal basic income driven by Mars trade credits, and a quantum internet governed by decentralized protocol. It wasn't just immersive, it was overwhelming. tens of millions uploaded into these divergent futures, choosing, for the first time, not with a ballot, but with their nervous systems. News anchors were paralyzed. What counted as a vote now? Was it consent or data? Could a democracy be rebooted like software? Trump responded the only way he knew how, with spectacle. He hosted a live, physical rally in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Hundreds of thousands showed up. American flags, military bands, fireworks. He declared the digital realm an illusion of control built by the elite. "You're not uploading your future," he shouted. "You're surrendering it." Musk didn't reply directly. But in the final 48 hours, Atlas, the AI civic simulator, released an open audit. It showed detailed projections of both futures, including economic performance, health outcomes, environmental data, even mental well-being statistics. It didn't endorse a side. It simply showed the math. And America, exhausted, divided, and desperate for clarity, made its choice. Epilogue. Who shapes the future? No one remembers who won the 2025 election officially. What they remember is how everything changed afterward. Some say Trump retook the White House, and Musk quietly expanded his empire from the private sector. Others claim Musk's systems outgrew the need for a presidency altogether, and the role itself became ceremonial. But one thing became clear. The true battle was never about a vote. It was about vision. A silent revolution had taken place, not with guns or protests or viral slogans, but in the way people thought, chose, and believed. America didn't pick a president. America picked a direction, and the world followed. In the end, the question was never just Musk or Trump. It was, what kind of future are we willing to believe in? One man offered power through tradition, control, and identity. The other, through technology, decentralization, and disruption. Two titans, two Americas. But revolutions don't always look like protests. Sometimes they look like quiet choices made in silence, in code, in consciousness, in connection. So we ask you now, not just as viewers, but as visionaries. Who's really shaping tomorrow? Is it the man with the mic? Or the one with the mainframe? This is not just a power struggle. This is the silent revolution. And it's already begun.